The opinions that you may hear us express, expressly or otherwise, over the public's airways, is in no way to represent the opinions expressed or otherwise by our management, producers, sponsors, or various members of their staffs or their families or few friends.
Nor should these views express the opinions of the broadcasters, the disc jockeys, the salesmen, the program and music directors, and their secretaries and girlfriends and wives and their staff.
Unless, of course, we are willing to assume that we can assume the responsibility that their opinions will not influence anyone else's opinions.
Or their family and friends.
And staff.
You know, sometimes I think we could be clearer on that.
You think
Mad
we didn't
radio.
cover it all?
No, I don't think we got it all. And you know, maybe a little ambiguous sometimes, so maybe we can clarify. 92.7 FM and 1580 AM Madison, the John and Gordy show. And what kind of morning is this turning out to be? You know,
That's a great question, John. I'm just checking the weather right now. And
the darkness blurs my perspective from the windows here, and, you know, I can't really make it out.
Well, when it's dark, it's tough to see that we have clear skies right now, and we're at 34 degrees, and we're expecting highs today close to 50 by later this afternoon. Can you believe that?
This is crazy.
Yeah.
It is.
But things are going to change, and it's going to get colder for the weekend, and maybe some rain and snow and all that. But we'll worry about that then. But it's 34 degrees clear this morning.
And you know I won't worry about that.
Don't.
So,
nothing to worry about.
Okay, Ann bought me a window shield. You know, you can put it on your window, and it prevents the frost from developing and the snow piling up on it. And all I have to do is just take that screen off the window and drive away. You know, it saves a lot of time, right?
Perfect for your windshield, right? It fits right on there.
Yeah, well, kind of, you know, you spend about, 30 minutes or so attaching it.
That's a time saver.
Out in the freezing cold. But, you save a lot of time taking it off, I hope. Unless, of course, it's, heavy snow and you're really trying to clear it off. And then you're trying to knock the snow off the shield so you can put it in the car.
Right.
I don't know if this is going to work. And if anybody has worked with this thing before, and this is more of a cloth thing, it's not a solid object, like two panels that you fold up and you throw in the car.
Right.
So, yeah, this is clothy, and I don't know where to go with it. We'll see.
Well, I see those things being promoted and advertised, and it looks like it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks like, it must be working. Otherwise, they wouldn't be selling it, right?
And by the way, this is something for you to make a note of because you're a weather guy. Maybe that's something you could remind people, leave with your, car windows covered. Make sure that they're fastened down tightly so you don't get frost or snow underneath. It's something maybe you could add to the repertoire.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. Oh, man. So.
Well, I think so, yeah. Pardon me, my signal seems to be breaking up from time to time here, so I'm not sure I'm on the same wavelength here yet, but hopefully we'll get that cleared up.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, John, by the way?
Yeah, I can hear you, and I'm not sure if you can hear me. So we're having that problem we thought we might have with your internet connection, right? So,
well, it seems okay at the moment. Can you hear me now?
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the issue is this morning, but it's happened a couple of times here. So we'll just trudge on.
We got a TDS fiber optic in this house, 1 gig. So we're streaming fast. So I wish it was everywhere,
Yeah.
I mean, we're working on it, right?
Okay, well,
Uh-oh. I'm not talking.
That infrastructure of the internet.
Yeah. That the Republicans don't seem
Sam, how are things going?
Concerned with.
Things are just grand.
Great.
How are you guys?
Good. I think Gordy is having a difficult time hearing us this morning, so.
We can hear him just fine.
Yeah. Yes, I am. Okay. Yeah, it seems to be an intermittent signal kind of thing, and
all right.
There's there's tons of construction going on in Baraboo, as I may have alluded to before, on 8th Street, which is also Highway 33, which goes from Portage to Baraboo. Huge construction in Baraboo from 8th Street all the way to Highway 12, all the way through the northern side of Baraboo. So I see construction workers out there all along the way digging, just digging trenches and probably moving the internet cables around. So
blame Biden, right? Blame Biden for the infrastructure bill.
Damn it. Can't take it anymore. Mad as hell, and we can't take it anymore.
Can't take it.
Yeah, so anyway, where were you? Hey, it's National Illinois Day on the National Day calendar, so salute those people you know from Illinois.
The Flatlanders.
The Flatlanders.
Yeah.
I'm a replanted Flatlander, moved up here in the mid-'70s, so I think I'm okay now.
I think you're good. Enough. I think you've got your Wisconsin cheesehead pass at this point.
My bona fides, whatever it is.
Yep. You're north of the Cheddar Curtain, so you're safe.
That's right. So Norman Lear died. I don't know if you heard the news.
Yes.
Famous TV producer, and, this probably brings back some memories.
From Television City in Hollywood.
Boy, the way Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made the hit parade.
Guys like us we hadn't made. Those were the days.
Those were the days. All in the Family, 1971, hit the airwaves.
Yeah.
Huge hit. Of course, he had taken comedy and mixed in social commentary, and he dominated the ratings in the 70s all across the board with all of his shows. Not only All in the Family, but, of course, The Jeffersons, Maude, Good Times, Sanford and Sons. I mean, the list goes on and on. Yeah. I saw somebody yesterday talking about at one time when he had all these shows on the air, there were times where he would have 100 million viewers per week when you added all of those shows up together. I mean, that's just amazing. Really changed. And
all good scripts, good material.
Yeah.
Great ideas.
Sitcom television forever.
I was thinking that theme song might be good for MAGAs today. Those were the days, when we could be racists in our homes and, hating our neighbors and making fun of minorities. Yes, those were the days.
Archie Bunker, the lovable racist. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you do that, right?
Yeah. How do you do that?
How do you portray that as lovable?
Carol O'Connor, great actor.
Oh, yeah. They pulled that off.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's a little bit of showbiz news this morning.
It is. It's kind of nice. I mean, how old was he? Did you have that
101.
There?
He was 101.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I know.
Wow.
That's a lot.
It is. It is. That's great. Yeah.
Well, he was still on television up till, they revived a couple of those shows a few times for live productions, and with Jimmy Kimmel helping to host along with Norman Lear, and the revivals I didn't think too much of really, but it was something to look back on his career.
I mean, he was making guest appearances and still, and I 2 or 3 or something like that now.
Yeah, something like that.
And Dick Van Dyke still around, one of the great acrobats on television, walking through the living room, falling over his ottoman. So
great slapstick stuff. Yeah,
I love that stuff. I admired Dick Van Dyke so much when I was in 2nd and 3rd grade.
Sure.
That I wanted to fall like him all the time in school, and I would fall out of the classroom door, and I'd trip over the desks. And I understand, my mom at least said that my 2nd grade teacher retired because she just couldn't take it anymore.
Well, she was worried you were going to get hurt, probably.
Well,
and she didn't want to be there to have to be a witness.
That's probably true.
To injuring yourself.
Sadly, sadly. Oh, those were the days.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And, in history, if you dust off the history books, this is Pearl Harbor Day, December 7th, the day that the Japanese attacked and damaged Well, let's see. Permanently damaged the USS Arizona, USS Oklahoma. I've never been to Hawaii. I've not done the Pearl Harbor tour.
Yeah.
Have you done that, John?
No.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, it's got to be a very moving experience, I'm sure. But about 3,500 Americans lost their lives on Pearl Harbor Day back on 1941, December 7th.
Now, if I'm recalling an article I just read correctly, after that, the Japanese went to Australia and attacked Australia.
I didn't know that.
And I think I'm just thinking that I think the article I read was about a movie in regards to that. So yeah, and who is the guy that was Wolverine? I'm drawing a blank here.
Wolverine.
Jackman, Hugh Jackman.
Oh, Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, he's from Australia, and he stars in that movie.
Oh, really?
So yeah, it's just something I read quickly. Didn't look too deeply into it, but yeah, I didn't know that they went and attacked Australia. So
I had no idea.
Yeah,
I had no idea. Anyway, what else have we got coming up a little bit later on here? We're
can I read this cartoon?
Oh yeah. Go. Yeah, you mentioned this right before we started. Yeah.
James Comer, it's a cartoon of the House GOP sitting behind a table with their microphones and stuff like that, and James Comer is in the middle. Marge is on one side, the typical crew. And James Comer is saying, as we move toward impeaching Biden without evidence, we ask our Speaker, Mike Johnson, to blur our faces. And it is great. It's great stuff. That blur the faces thing is going to hang around for a long, long time.
Yes, it is. Yes. Maybe we should blur our faces during the show somehow.
That might be, we got a blur face show, For
those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube and X. But today we will continue in focus with non-blurred faces. Maybe someday in the future we'll do that.
I hope so. Special edition shows. I love those.
Yes, me too. 19 past the hour. We're just getting started on this Thursday morning. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back to the action right after this message.
Wow. I like that.
Well, I hope my internet holds together here.
Me too.
Because I couldn't hear anything you guys were doing. Everything was frozen on my end.
When was that? You talked back to me. I mean, we were conversing, so.
Well, I was just guessing.
I know in Zoom this works. I don't know if it works in StreamYard, but if worse comes to worse, you can turn your camera off, and it'll, devote more bandwidth towards your voice, which is more important.
Yeah.
Okay, good idea.
Yeah, hang on a minute. How much time we got left? 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back.
All right. All right. Now.
10 seconds, 8 seconds.
All right. Let's see here.
All right.
Mad Radio, 92.7 FM and 1580 AM Madison. I'm John Peterson.
And I'm Gordy Young.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
This is the John and Gordy Show, appropriately named. I wanted to use other names, but we thought,
Bob and Tom was taken, so
Yeah. Oh,
what is that noise?
I don't know. Somebody's
bizarre.
trying to break in here or at the station or
maybe. We have a phone number. It's 608-879-8255. You can also contact us on the Civic Media app. You can send us a text. You can, shoot us, send a carrier pigeon. You can send a telegram. anything you want to do to get a hold of us, we'd love to hear from you.
We're desperate to hear from you.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean,
well, you're right. I know. We'll fill in the blanks.
Desperation's not a good look.
If you don't get a hold of us, we'll just keep rambling on and on and on.
Ramble on. Yes, ramble on. What's our ramble on topic starting out with today here? What are we doing?
Well, I'd like to.
For us?
I got something here. I thought that was kind of interesting. It's a Democrat kind of confronting Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, okay.
And because here's how it all went. Check this out.
Mr. Speaker, I urge all of my colleagues to vote for this censure resolution. I thank Representative McClain for introducing it. And at this time, I yield back. Thank you.
Gentlelady yields back. A gentlelady from Michigan reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, it's really rich to get a lecture from someone about civility who stood on this House floor and screamed and interrupted the President of the United States during his State of the Union. Yes. Or somebody who continues to circle the wagons and cheer on the insurrectionists who attacked this Capitol violently on January 6th. I was the last person off the House floor on that day, and I saw what happened. And for people to come down here and defend those actions, it is pathetic and disgusting. I now yield.
Needed to be said, right?
Yes.
Needed to be said. Nicely put. The Democrats, this is the wonderful thing about the rise of Trump is that the Democrats are now forced to fight back. And that is, that's refreshing.
Yeah, it is.
This never happened before. Never. So thank goodness. Start getting a backbone here as I get on my high horse.
Well, that's all right.
All right.
It has to be said,
It
There's
does.
sometimes where you just have to speak out. Can't just sit and take it all.
Exactly.
And Marjorie Taylor Greene is the perfect example of somebody speaking out and then about having civility on the floor. Really? Come on. With your track record?
I know. The false electors, right? In this state, they got off lightly. They can't run again. They can't do, be an elector and all these little penalties for them. But, as this story broke, other stories broke across the country where other attorney generals are actually indicting their fake electors.
Right.
And they're going much further and really penalizing these people for trying to deceive the whole system and stop the easy flow of the transition to a new president. But, I don't know. I'm not sure I like the idea of just, letting these guys off, with a few penalties here and there. And then the other people on X are responding to it in Wisconsin, saying, in 2015, WIS GOP eliminated the nonpartisan GAB because it was not GOP friendly enough, and that's the Government Accountability Board. They got rid of that. That's something they thought was so great. Now they want to eliminate and replace the nonpartisan Wisconsin Election Commission for the same reason. Of course, the state Senate now doesn't want to go along with something like that. And everybody's complaining now that these electors basically aren't being prosecuted by the Attorney General still. Josh Call still hasn't done anything. He's going to let this thing go, basically, and, let these electors off. Instead of like other states, they're indicting them. They're going to take them, lock them up.
The 10 Wisconsin Republicans, again, who falsely asserted that Trump won the 2020 election. All they really had to do was concede that their actions were a part of an effort to subvert the state election results. And during that settlement agreement, they don't have to pay any fines, according to this report that I'm looking at.
Right, they don't.
They really no penalties at all, other than just admitting and saying that they're not going to be a part of the process in the future going forward. Pardon me.
Well, and one of them, Spindle, he is still on the Wisconsin Election Commission. He should be kicked off, bounced off. The Republicans should replace him with another Republican, but they should get rid of this guy. And they're not. So it just shows, that they haven't quite learned their lesson yet.
In fact, the fake electors, again, it says here, according to this report, this is from The Hill, fake electors won't pay any damages or attorney's fees under the deal, and there's no admission of culpability or liability. They just concede that Biden won the election. That's it. That's all. And compared to the other states, that's a slap, not even a slap on the wrist. I mean, it's kind of like, okay, you guys, you go about your business.
No indictments, right? I mean, they're the ones who didn't even qualify the electors as only use us in case, there's a question and the peaceful transition of power is held up. Then you can use us. They didn't even qualify it. They just pretended like they were the electors.
I just wonder if there's something different about the Wisconsin case that gives it more of a legal loophole for them to get out of any culpability in it, compared to those other cases where they are going forward and charging people.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they were never charged or indicted, but the great mystery of all time,
That's what it is.
They will never know why.
Well, on we go to other things, right? It's just,
Absolutely.
Nothing to see here. We'll just move on, and I'm sure the next election will go much smoother. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit later, we're going to talk about Governor Evers. He issued a few vetoes, getting rid of some very, very bad bills that the Republicans want to foist off on Wisconsinites, basically, taking aim and bashing LGBTQ individuals and, creating more division in the state, encouraging hate crimes, all of that stuff. He really laid into them. And I want to get, I don't have an actual voicer on this, but I do have, he released a statement, and we'll get to that statement, which is really, really, really nailing it. So we'll get to that. It's fantastic stuff.
And let's see, we've got more from a frozen tundra man.
Yes, I got that. This is good stuff,
Yeah. All right.
He was on TV the other day, and we'll get to that.
We'll be back on the other side of the news with more of the John and Gordy Show.
Was it official as of yesterday that Eric Hovde declared his campaign against Tammy Baldwin?
No.
Oh,
I don't know if there's a story on that, because I just repeated something he did in 2016 or 17, something like that.
Yeah. Well, apparently he has declared.
He has?
Yeah, Luke sent me something this morning.
Sorry. And last night's debate, did you watch any of it? It was crazy. Crazy time.
I didn't. I was so tired I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
I was completely frozen up.
Well, just to summarize, Chris Christie attacked Trump.
Yeah.
Everybody attacked Nikki Haley, meaning everybody except Christie.
Yeah.
He actually defended her, because Ramaswamy was making personal attacks against Nikki Haley, just like, and he went way too far. And Chris Christie said, I had to say something. And DeSantis is just flailing because his numbers are dropping, I think.
Apparently not too much new took place. So
nothing.
Let's see an opinion. Chris Larson and what kind of rush
shots? Yeah, I'm watching CNN right now. Chris Christie's going to be on in a few minutes.
Who gave you that story, Sam?
Luke. It's here. I can forward it to you.
Huh. Okay.
From Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, but link through Twitter.
You sent that those other stories earlier, John, about road salt, and
yeah,
and also Walker with that park. I'd been hearing something about that before. About that golf.
Yeah.
Golf is losing popularity left and right. And golf courses are like struggling to survive. And yeah, let's build another golf course.
Yeah.
Why not? Right now, a beautiful, beautiful park setting that has been protected forever.
I'm looking for the Hovey thing. Did you send it to me in the email?
Yeah, it's also in the show chat. Like not the StreamYard one, the other one.
All right. I just clicked on the.
Oh yeah, the studio chat.
Oh,
boy. Yeah, Eric Hovde officially declared.
After me playing his cut,
I don't know any
trashing healthcare, completely removed from reality. His perspective on healthcare. So beautiful
Who's that?
stuff. Hovde.
Who's that?
Eric Hovde. He's a billionaire. He's got buildings all over the area that you can go into, and he is going to be there as a candidate now. And after it,
did you find that Mike Johnson cut yet?
I have it. Yeah. I'm all set to go with it. So anytime you guys want it.
Yeah. We're coming to a Red Sea moment.
A Red Sea
I think
moment.
we have Red Sea moments every day, don't we, Jeff?
We do.
We got to part the waves here somewhere and figure out where we're going.
I'm gonna jot
a Red Sea moment.
I'm jotting
That's
that
classic.
down. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Wait till you hear everything that he says. I mean, it's just okay. After he goes on this. You got to play the whole thing because he's just
This is now a post-it. This is a post-it on my monitor from now on.
Red Sea. Oh yay. I tread lightly when getting into religious talk because there are very good people that are true believers but they don't use religion, to further their political standings or anything like that. Yeah. I mean, so I think we always got to say that, we always.
I don't know. Not me. You can say that.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Mama Edwina's genuine, authentic, real imitation frozen simulated pizza pie with an average of 53 anchovies per pizza. This is just an estimate, however, and your anchovies may vary.
Oh, yes.
Matt Radio, 92.7 FM. The John and Gordy Show. I think we had one of those pizzas when we had a little meeting before we even started on the show here. So we'll have to order that again, maybe tonight.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I think we're getting together this evening, and one of those Mama pizzas would be. It sounds good, doesn't it?
It would be really terrific.
Can't wait. Okay.
All right, let's get to something because I really want to eventually use one of the statements in this comment. Eventually. Mike Johnson told a gathering of Christian nationalists last night, these are not good people, okay? I'm just going to say that right now.
Okay.
These Christian nationalists don't have our best interests in mind. Anyway, he appeared last night that weeks before he became House Speaker, the Lord told me very clearly to prepare to become a Moses who will lead the nation through the Red Sea moment.
Holy Moses.
Yeah, this is great stuff. This is Speaker Mike Johnson.
Okay.
he doesn't really have a grand vision of himself, does he?
No.
Let's think. Let's continue. Oh my God. 13.
Wait.
Oh my God. Oh
okay,
my
that's wow.
That is just
that's your House Speaker.
That is
listening to the voices in his head.
Yeah, the voices in his head. He's like looking around, saying, you want me? Are you pointing at me? Because is there somebody behind me? What is going on? Right? These Christian nationalists. This is insanity. This is the group who wants to control the country, wants to tell us what to think, do, and say. They're doing that in Florida as we speak, of course, but it's happening all across the country. Other people are certainly, red states are certainly trying to emulate Florida by doing the same laws, the same restrictions, controlling their lives from birth to death. These are the same accusations they used to throw at liberals, or still do. We want to stop people from buying gas stoves or pigtail light bulbs or big gulps. Those were really important things to protect if you're an American. But when it comes to rights and reading about history the way it really happened, we can clarify that and clean it up and become more patriotic. It's crazy stuff.
John, I just think that every once in a while here on the morning show, you and I run up against a Red Sea moment where we don't.
Yes, we do.
The waters are flooding. We don't know. Oh, Moses, please part the seas. It's just. Can you play some of that again? It's just. I think it's amazing. His train of thought here, as he made his way to become the Speaker of the House.
And he actually believes this stuff.
Well,
yes.
I
mean, he's hearing the voices. He thinks he's involved in some discussion with God. Okay, here we go again. I wish the Lord would wake me up without having to set my alarm, Okay, here we go. Oh, God.
Right-hand man.
As he's talking, he brings up the Lord. And then he acts like the Lord is right beside him, as he's saying this. He looks next to him and he goes, "Oh, thank you, Lord."
Mm-hmm. It's
just really weird. If God had any control over this, he wouldn't have had 13 people, right?
Really, he would have gone right to the last one, right?
Right to the winner, and because he's chosen the new Moses.
Right.
So. Oh, boy. Mm-hmm. That is just something else. And if you could just see him kind of looking around, like the Lord is next to him and he's looking for some other people. The Lord must be talking to somebody else. The next Moses. Wow. The Red Sea moment, indeed. So.
Yeah. Well, and he was speaking to.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I'm just trying to remember he was speaking to a religious group.
Yes.
Just to put this in context,
Christian nationalists.
That's the Christian nationalists, and that was last night.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. I've got a little story in kind of, in relation to it. Jesus versus modern Christians. Okay. 3 things they would probably disagree with today. All right. Even 2,000 years ago, Jesus was a controversial figure. That would be no different today. And here's a few issues that Jesus would disagree with the modern Christian about. All right. Televangelists and prosperity gospel advocates, who I love, prosperity gospel advocates, send us money, give me money. I'm a billionaire, trillionaire, send me money. That's fine. But the Christian circles often equate material success with divine favor. Yet, Jesus lived and taught a life of simplicity, cautioning against the deceit of riches and encouraging his followers to store up treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys. Okay, I mean, this is written by a guy who knows his religion, and he writes also, the modern Christian movement sometimes divides over how to approach social justice. Jesus, conversely, consistently sided with the underprivileged and oppressed, critiquing the societal norms and religious hypocrisy that marginalized certain groups, and urged his followers to do the same without reservation. And third, Christianity wields considerable political influence in various contexts today. You just heard Mike Johnson referring to that. Well, Jesus, however, remained apolitical, emphasizing a kingdom not of this world and teaching his disciples to serve rather than seeking to dominate others through governmental power. So there you go. 3 areas that modern Christians would disagree with Jesus on.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. It's almost too much to take in. Now I'm starting to hear voices in my head.
Well, it was my Red Sea moment right there. So.
All right. As far as I'm getting some technical messages here, John, and I don't know if Sam is in the loop on those, but apparently some of our show is going out, and other parts of it is not going out. Yeah, well, no, I think it's some of the sound cuts that we're using are not playing through the entire system. It's playing through some of the system. I don't know. I'm trying to not get too technically into the weeds on this.
Well,
I'm
we
hoping
got Sam
Sam
in there. Are you listening? He's monitoring everything that goes over the.
It's something
here.
It has something to do with people that may be listening on the Civic Media app.
I think so. We're working because Sam says everything's fine.
Well, we're working to correct the issues that some people may be having with the Civic Media app. So if you're having trouble with that, you can switch over to Facebook or YouTube Live. Just go to the John and Gordy Show on Facebook or YouTube or X, and we'll continue to see what the issue is with that.
We'll have to try to knock the ice off the Civic Media app tower that we have. So maybe we're having trouble that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
we're working on it.
So all that crankiness, some people are actually hearing. Damn.
They don't know what they're missing.
No,
right?
they don't. Mr. Demo Curmudgeon here .blogspot.com. Check it out there. Historically, you should go to the site and look up what happened during the Walker administration that is giving us all of these crazy things today. The gerrymandered Republicans in our state capital. They're a result of Scott Walker.
Well, we keep coming back to that, but that's the case. I mean, a lot of the things that happened during the Walker administration we're paying the price for now, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. A lot of it. The Act 10 thing, which is coming back, there's certainly that's going to be overturned. I mean, it's just ridiculous that you can, exempt 2 unions because, they're trashing public unions, right? They're trashing them. And then they said, but you know what? These other 2 are okay. They don't have the same problems. No, it's not true. So, Yeah, that's definitely going to be overturned. They're going to blame it on a liberal Supreme Court, but that's the way it goes. We got to be fair about this. And what?
Yeah, and we were talking before we started the show about that. What is the park that's over that they're building the golf course or the what is that park? The Kohler Andrea State Park.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Wisconsin State Park, our treasure, but Walker is opening the door to this golf course. Because we need another golf course. Golf is suffering in popularity.
I think that's a lakefront golf course, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, it's a lakefront golf course that they want to have in part of the state land of the Kohler Company. Is involved with this. Kohler gets state park land along Lake Michigan's rich area there. I mean, it's a beautiful, natural park.
It'll block off a lot of the beach along there. The locals, will be prevented from using some of that area. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And I don't know what the next step is on that, if they have halted that or if that's going to actually go through.
That's been delayed for a while, yeah.
It keeps getting delayed. A lot of people are objecting to it, so they have to look at it a little more closely before they start doing anything.
But it's another one of those things, where Walker decided that Wisconsinites don't need to fully fund our state parks. He decided that instead of taking it from our general fund and funding the parks as they need repair and improvements, he wanted to take it off the tax rolls and charge people going into the parks.
Mm-hmm.
That was his idea. Everybody every once in a while wants to stop into a park and enjoy what we have in Wisconsin. That's something we all share, and we should all share in paying for upkeep. But he thought, no, let's just charge people going to the parks. So it's going to cost a lot more money if you pay individually to get into those parks. And not only that, the fees aren't keeping up with the upkeep. So there's not enough money there. So now we're going to have to borrow money or take money out of the general fund in order to supplement it because of this stupid, dumb idea of taking our state parks, something we all own, taking us out of the loop from paying for the upkeep and keeping those parks running. So it's crazy stuff.
Mad Radio WMDX 92.7, 749. We're coming right back. I got completely distracted because my phone rang and it was
Catherine?
Yes.
Oh.
Did you get
I don't know
the
why
same
she
message?
Called me first, but
well, I think she.
So apparently, none of the places. I don't know about the internet streams like social media, but the app and the air, for some reason, couldn't hear the Mike Johnson cuts, even though I could hear them just fine through the board. So I have no idea why that is.
That's.
Did they hear the other cut?
And
the guy trashing Marjorie Taylor Greene. I wonder.
I'm not sure. If they couldn't, they didn't say. The Mike Johnson cut was a little low, so I rode the fader to keep it at about the same spot. But
sure,
I could hear it for sure.
How are we going to test this? Because this is going through my computer.
Right. I mean, I can hear it fine, so I don't know.
Did we really talk about Eric Hovde? Did we cover Eric Hovde, or did we?
No.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Mad Radio, 92.7. John and Gordy, and we're on this story. Eric Hovde is now throwing his hat into the ring, and he's going to, certainly run against Tammy Baldwin, and he's got such a winning agenda. He does build a few buildings, and some people owe him for their living quarters. so maybe that'll do it. I don't know,
I don't know much about Eric Hovde, except that he's got a lot of money. Is that the case?
Yeah, he's got a lot of money. And, and he lives in, what is it, Laguna Beach?
Okay.
Yeah, he's a Laguna Beach candidate in Wisconsin. So he's got to contend with that. Yesterday, coincidentally, we played a cut from Hovde way back in, I think it was 2012, where he was talking about health care, because it was a big topic at that time with Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act, basically. And Hovde has these old images of health care, just like another candidate in Montana has these old images of what health care should be like, or that people have pocket money. I mean, these are billionaires again. These are people that are very rich who have never had to struggle with paying their hospital bills or their medical bills or their emergency urgent care bills. So they have a different viewpoint of it. And we played this trick. I'm going to play it again. And you just won't believe that this guy is certainly going to be running against Tammy Baldwin.
We have to try to defund every aspect of Obamacare. Look, the more we've moved to a socialized system of medicine, we've seen the quality of our health in this country decline. We have to start getting back to self-reliance, independence. But we also have to have people stand on their own 2 feet and start focusing on their health. We have an obesity crisis. We've taken away people's self-responsibility to try to take care of their own health.
Are there any prongs of the Affordable Care Act that you support, specifically some of the ones that seem to be more popular, including the provision of covering young adults or coverage for pre-existing conditions?
No. I believe that the problem with our healthcare sector over the last 30 years has been ever-increasing government involvement. As it pertains to allowing kids up to 26, I understand it, but I also am concerned that we continue to extend a variation of childhood far too long. At 21 years old, my parents had, one child, another child on their way. They were standing on their own 2 feet.
Yeah. They were standing on their own 2 feet, and they had health care through their employer. Yeah, real tough times for you there, Eric. Just incredible. I mean, just amazing stuff. So removed from what reality says to most of us who have to pay our bills when it comes to health care or surprise medical bills that we get. So it's what?
Now, apparently, Eric Hovde, this is a little confusing because has he declared or has he not declared? This is according to the National Republican Senatorial Committee Chair, Steve Daines. He told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel yesterday, that Hovde is getting in the race. But Hovde hasn't actually come out, at least I'm having trouble finding a statement where he's actually said he's running. So maybe it's... that announcement is on the way today. I don't know.
Well, that's how these announcements, they send something out, kind of a feeler, and then they make
a trial balloon.
Major, yeah, that's how they do it. That's how it is. So
that's how they work it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll get it, man. You'll get it.
We'll keep on we'll keep on top of it.
Yeah.
And see if he actually makes an official announcement sometime today or tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, here. This is just a sample of the candidate in Montana, what he was.
In my opinion, we need to return healthcare to pure privatization, because it's like student loans. It's like federal student loans. When you have students who have an unlimited access to federal student loans, the cost of education has gone up 2,000% in the last 45 years.
That sounds just like Eric Hovde's logic and reasoning, right? So the student loans, it's just like that, right?
Because the colleges know they can charge whatever they're going to charge because the student loan will pay. And it's a similar dynamic, not exactly, but similar in healthcare, where we've got a subsidy system that it's got perverse incentives for the healthcare. So town had a doctor that would drive to your house, take care of you, and you'd pay him or her. You'd give them money, and guess what? It worked. It worked when you'd actually.
Yes, house calls. Now, remember that?
House calls. Did you ever have a house call, John, when you were a little boy? I recall a couple of times way back when I was probably 7 or 8 years old, that the doctor did come to the house a couple of times,
right?
On a house call. I mean, this is the old days. I mean, we're talking early 60s, late 50s, 1950s.
Yeah, it has to
when
be
we
the
were
50s.
kids.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a different era we're
I don't
talking
remember
about again.
house calls, but they were around back then, when we were kids, and it's
Right.
crazy. I mean, it'd be fun to have that back again, instead of running to urgent care. But
Right.
that's not going to happen,
No.
So
We're not
and it
getting
seems
in
like-
the time. We're not getting in the time machine and going back to 1955. It
seems like there's this big discussion now. Tom Hartman touches on this all the time about Medicare Advantage. It's a private replacement for Medicare. It's a lot less expensive, basically, I think. But Tom Hartman says, no, it's more expensive, or it's more expensive at least for the government's point of view. And they're saying that maybe this isn't the way to go, having your vision covered, your dental covered, your hearing covered, all that stuff should be covered, right? It's part of our body. In fact, the head unit seems to be the most important part, which seems to be exempt from most health care at this point. But, it's one of those things where all of this has to be, reformed in some way, shape, or form, because it's running out of money eventually. So we really need to go to universal health care coverage. And these guys are so far behind, house calls, or it's just like the student loan program. They can charge anything they want. And now all the doctors are angry about Medicare Advantage because it's private, and these private insurance companies are not giving them the kind of reimbursements they would get normally under Medicare, regular Medicare. So, a lot of people don't know about Medicare. It's not as glorious as we'd like to think.
That's for sure. Hey, coming up in our next hour, we're going to talk about a couple of bills that Tony Evers vetoed. Also, the mega pseudo-intellectual stars and Frozen Tundra Man, all coming up.
We'll be right back to the action right after this message.
It's the John Gordy Show.
Boy, oh boy.
What's happening, Sam?
Good question.
No, don't say that. Don't say that.
We're just going to continue with the show and
I mean,
not
for
worry
the
about
most part, everything is fine from my perspective. What did Luke just say?
It sounds like the app is having problems.
Which is impossible, right? How could the app have problems?
Those Eric Hovde and other healthcare cuts, I don't know if they're super high or hot or what.
They were the Hovde thing was hot. I'm trying to control it on my end too. Okay, yeah, that was hot. But at least you heard it, right? That's why I played a lot of this, just so we could keep testing the system.
Check everything.
Yeah.
Catherine is saying everything's okay on the app.
Okay.
Well, that's good, I guess.
At least.
No, that's good.
For the time being.
Crosses one thing off the list.
It does throw us off, though. I mean, can't concentrate when you're getting messages, but it's hard. I'm glad they're letting us know. I'm glad she's letting us know what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we should get the Frozen Tundra Man, huh?
Sure.
Everybody knows, and the guy with the icicles, dripping from his face, right?
Well, explain that, because I don't know. I don't watch that much to know who it is.
Okay. All right. Can do that.
And he's He made a goat hat.
Yes. Yes, he carves up foam. and he's an incredible sculptor, really. And he does these hats. He has a business. It's mentioned in the clip, but you can order your own hats, and he does these things. So, Frozen Tundra Man. Let's see, where am I here? I'm going to do this.
What was the other bill that Evers blocked? The GOP election thing?
Yeah.
Okay. The Republicans wanted to take it away from an independent bipartisan committee and give it to the the Attorney General.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Well, I only got into just the LGBTQ stuff. I thought that was, I didn't get into the rest of that because I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood the statement that Evers was making, because this is really an important statement, you know, and you have it there. So I just thought, you know, what he said was just perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got it.
I also want to start debuting some of the right-wing pseudo-intellectuals. In other words, they're not intellectuals, but MAGAs think they are because they sound so smart. Oh God! And the speakers of Gen Z, those guys, they have followings, and it's interesting. My Gen Zers are, you know, watching these individuals who are speaking for them, for their generation, and it's interesting. There are people coming up that are being followed by certain people, political parties, and generations. So, let's see here. So, should we get to the? Yeah, you want to get to the Frozen Tundra Man?
Sure, and then we can maybe transition into road salt. You know?
Yeah, why not? Because he's got icicles on his face.
Exactly.
Road salt
Should
there.
I have
you know?
an unfrozen caveman lawyer standing by?
Oh, yes.
Let's do that.
Well,
There's
what
one
we
that says Senate candidate, and another one that says, one's just the intro. It looks like.
do I have the music intro? Is that the music intro or no? Is it?
Ladies and gentlemen of the
No,
jury,
no,
good-
don't. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it.
Thank you.
No, I don't think we have it.
Unfrozen caveman
No,
lawyer.
no. That's none of that's going to work on this.
Oh, okay.
Oh well.
You know, Sam, your level is really low when you're talking. Now, part of it is I'm half deaf, but
Well, I didn't really preview it on. Okay, yeah, it is a little low there. I'm turning
Okay.
it up now.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
going to play it, Sam. I'm going to play it on YouTube. Okay.
Okay.
The intro to it, because I really wanted to send this to you, and I keep forgetting to cut this up, but it's just the intro to Frozen Caveman Lawyer. So, and the jingle.
we should
Yeah.
we
And it's
should
theme song.
reference
left.
at some point. Let's bring up the Republican debate because we said we were going to talk about it,
Yeah,
but
true.
we don't have to spend any time on it. Just the more of the same, basically.
Yeah, I can't throw anything in there for that because I didn't watch it.
I'll mention it because they're rehashing it. It was just typical. I mean, if you watched the last one, you pretty much got the same thing last night.
30 seconds.
I can't imagine Ramaswamy is going to stay in this thing, but because they're all they're all against him.
Ramaswamy. Swami.
He's a piece of work.
God.
He's a piece of work.
He is. He really is. Yes, indeed.
92.7 is the place to go. It's John and Gordy, John and Gordy, John and Gordy, John and Gordy. In the morning, in the morning, in the morning, in the morning. It's John and Gordy, John and Gordy, John and Gordy, John and Gordy. At the break of dawn, get your coffee on. John and Gordy on the radio. 92.7 is the place to go.
Beautiful. Just fantastic. Mad Radio, 92.7 FM and 1580 AM on your dial. And we have a phone number too, 608-879-TALK, 879-8255, or you can just text us and message us that way if the app is working correctly.
We have, it's a beautiful, clear morning, 33 degrees, expecting highs in the upper 40s today with a lot of sunshine on the way. And then things turn the other direction as we get closer to the weekend. We'll worry about that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But right now, 33 degrees, John.
It's nice and cold for Frozen Tundra Man, you know. He's the guy who goes to all the Packer games. You've seen him on TV. He's got the icicles hanging from his hat, from his beard, from his face. He's got icicles. He's got an icicle problem. So
yeah,
and
yes, he does.
Yeah, and he went to the Packer game last Sunday, and he is a sculptor as well, and he makes hats for other people. So the hat he wears is something he made, and he makes hats for other people, including celebrities like Olympic gymnastic Simone Biles. And he was caught giving this head mask to her at the game. And of course, a TV station, picked that whole thing up. It was just, it was kind of cute and everything. But this guy, this Frozen Tundra Man, reminds me of Frozen Caveman Lawyer, which I oftentimes bring up on the show. No one knows about him. But it's an old bit from Saturday Night Live.
Sure. Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman was the Frozen Caveman Lawyer, and it's something that grows on you if you know a little bit about him. And this is the intro to the bit, basically.
100,000 years ago, a caveman was out hunting on the frozen wastes when he slipped and fell into a crevasse. In 1988, he was discovered by some scientists and thawed out. He then went to law school and became Unfrozen Caveman Lawyer.
He used to be a caveman, but now he's a lawyer. Unfrozen Caveman Lawyer.
Great stuff. Absolutely.
His real name is Jeff Kahlo or Kahlo?
Jeff Kahlo.
Okay.
And he made a goat hat. I don't know why. They didn't specify why, he made a certain kind of goat hat or whatever. But he not only did he make that for her, but he made a hat for her boyfriend, husband, whatever.
Okay.
I don't know. Are they married yet?
I have no idea. I can't keep
Well, here's
up
the story.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen you without the frozen cheese hat on. It's nice that you're with us. Take us back to that really cool moment last night. How did you get this opportunity?
During the Chargers game, security contacted me and said that they saw Simone on the field and she wants to meet Frozen Tundra Man. So I thought, okay, I'm going to be at the Sunday Nighter. I'll be all dressed up. And my wife babysits for a couple little girls, and they're big into gymnastics. And I thought, what an opportunity to have something signed for them. They would just go ecstatic because they're huge Simone Biles fans. And I thought, well, I can't just do that. That's kind of tacky. I have to make her something. So I ended up making her these two hats, and of course one for her husband. I couldn't leave him out, not during the Christmas holiday season here.
Oh, absolutely. How special is that?
This is the picture that she signed for the two girls. Yeah. I didn't think it was going to go the way it went. I thought it'd be a private moment between her and I and maybe a security guard. But then all the media came in and did all the filming, and now it's all over everywhere.
It is.
Quite involved. How did you make them?
Out of foam. I carve hats. This is like my 28th year of carving hats. I've done it for that long, and I've made them for a lot of celebrities around the world and people and fans. And it's actually called Big Guy Hats. I've been around for a long time, but it's a hobby. I'm not delighted with the morning after. It's heck on my face because that's all hot glue that gets to the skin into the hair. And I got to put fingernail polish remover and cut it with a scissors and an X-Acto knife, and I got to get it off my face. And if I still got glitter all over me, sometimes it lasts for 2-3 weeks all over my body. I can't get it all off.
Jeff Kalo, thank you for making time for us. We loved hearing the backstory behind it all. Do appreciate it.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
It was almost like too much information for a few moments there.
Doesn't sound healthy, actually.
No.
What he's doing there.
No.
John, we have to go to the phone lines. Joe has been hanging on for a few minutes. Good morning, Joe.
Super,
You're on with John and Gordy.
Hi.
Hey, guys. I was interested in returning to the question of what the heck happened with the electors in the state of Wisconsin. And there was the close-up of the civil suit against them yesterday. And with your permission, I'd love to return to that, if that's okay. I think that one of the things that was kind of fascinating about this was that they collected this, it's close to 600 pages of testimony and information that was passed out and that is retrieved as part of this lawsuit. And I got to believe that you guys have seen this one quote, which to me is just possibly one of the most beautiful in its idiocy quotes that I've seen in a long time. One of the fake electors is a guy named Daryl Carlson. And we've all had that information passed to us that you should be careful about what you put down in an email. And this guy apparently had written, I get this is the quote, "They don't want to have a technicality mess up a possible steal."
Wow.
I didn't see that quote.
Yeah.
No. Thanks for pointing that out to us.
Yeah, it's just beautiful because it's like, oh, buddy, come on, be careful there. And look what you just did. You teed yourself up nicely for the criminal indictment, which brings up the question of what the heck is Josh Call doing? Why doesn't he go forward since these other states have? He's said in the past, quote, words to the effect of, I'm going to wait and see what the feds do with their case. And it makes me wonder, and of course, I'm not a lawyer and I don't even play one on TV, but I'm curious if there may be something about the involvement of Senator Ron Johnson in all this that is a line of questioning that Josh Call has been told to step back from. Don't start looking at this, because if you open a case on this, it might, I don't know if it might somehow tamper with the federal case. And there were a couple of other quotes I just wanted to share with you. I was looking at an article that was from NBC News back in, let's see what the date on that is. It's October 14th, 2022. And they were quoting him from an interview he had on the local radio show, Vicki McKenna's show. And I think there's something about Johnson's tie to Jim Troupas and his efforts to hand deliver the electors, the slate of fake electors from both Wisconsin and Michigan, maybe just hysterical. Mr. Johnson claimed on Vicki McKenna's show, quote, "You can't even call it participation. I just wrote a couple of texts." Okay, well, you can write a text that, as we just saw, can really be rather damning. And apparently, Troopers had texted Johnson and said, "Need to get a document on Wisconsin electors to you and the VP immediately," which is just hysterical when you think about it, because if it has to do with the Wisconsin electors and the legit electors, it doesn't go through Mr. Johnson. It goes to the archivist of Congress. It has to be registered with Congress. What on earth would he have any reason to be mucking with this? There was another quote he had in Vicki McKenna's show where he said, you're going to love this one. He said, Troupas, speaking of Troupas, he says, he was kind of like me, an innocent bystander. We were asked to do a delivery job. Pizza,
really? That's all.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then there was another quote where he said, all my involvement was limited to 70 minutes. Oh, like you can't give 70 minutes. That would be illegal. I think we've sort of forgotten with Ron, racing across the floor of Congress to seek out the people of Pence's office to hand deliver these Wisconsin and Michigan fake electors. And it's just, what on earth? And apparently the aide who had been involved with this used to work in the Trump administration. I've forgotten his name, but I think there may be more tendrils and tentacles that have to do specifically with Ron Johnson, and maybe the feds don't want to get into this at that point. They want to, get Trump indicted and move forward with that. I don't know, but I think that there's more under the hood than is being revealed, and the fact that Josh Call is saying, "I want to see what the Fed does with their
Right.
case."
Well, bringing Johnson into it, I have a little clip, so I'll play that for you.
On that last point, that Republican U.S. Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin offered to hand courier to the vice president on January 6th the forged certificates for fake Trump electors. I mean, that was some new news today. But after that was revealed at the hearing, Senator Ron Johnson made very clear to reporters that he does not want to talk about it, to the point where he will fake being on the phone to avoid answering their questions about it.
How much did you know about what your chief of staff was doing with the alternate slates of abductors? No, you're not. I can see your phone. I can see your screen. Can you explain what your chief of staff told me? Does your chief of staff still work for you, Senator? Can you explain what happened there? Why was your chief of staff even offering this to the vice president? That's a non-story because you state that. Yeah, non-story. I don't know what.
Anyway, it's a little inaudible, but he faked talking to somebody. What's that?
So anyway, you guys, I think there's more there than first glance might say, and so if nothing else, we can eagerly await to see what might be happening with Ron Johnson, because I just wonder. So thanks a lot. Love the show. Talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks. We appreciate the topic.
Thank you, Joe.
And it is something to think about. Maybe it has the tentacles into the Johnson campaign, and the Johnson fumble on this particular issue, as he fumbles on almost all of them. At my blog, you could always, if you type in "dumb Ron Johnson," all the stories will come up, because that was a nickname I gave him right away, because when he ran for Senate, he was running against Obamacare. And that was a dumb thing to do.
Right. You can find that at democurmudgeon.blogspot.com. 18 past the hour, 33 degrees. Back with more after this. Okay.
We get to the Evers thing? Too heavy?
Well, I don't know. What did you want to do with the salt thing?
You mean you wanted to do something about road salt, right?
Well, you sent the article to me, but I didn't.
Again, that article was something Sam sent. And I have not gone through those yet.
Okay, I didn't. I
read them generally, but I have not edited and looked at how I wanted to present the story yet. So,
well, what about this one? The Jesus versus modern Christians.
Got like 20 seconds.
We just did that.
Oh, we did.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I didn't see any of these points on here. I didn't. That may have been while I was just.
Pick what you want to do. We're just about in.
Okay.
MAGA pseudo intellectuals.
Oh yeah. Mad Radio 92.7 FM and 1580 AM. And a very good morning to you. I'm John Peterson.
Gordy Young here, and it's 20 past the hour as we continue on this Thursday. And John, you had a story about MAGA pseudo-intellectual stars. I don't know if we've touched on this one yet.
No, we haven't. We haven't.
You mentioned Ben Shapiro as one. But Matt Walsh, I'm not real familiar with Matt Walsh, a political commentator that writes for Daily Wire.
Yeah, that's right.
So what's he been up to here?
What he does, he dissects Matt Walsh and Shapiro's comments that they make in front of college students. They like the college circuit, basically, because it's easy for them to argue certain cases and certain things at all times. And it's an interesting thing. And I thought this would be something we should look at, because Matt Walsh is a right-wing political commentator, and he's very Gen Z-ish, and he writes for the Daily Wire. He has starred in the Daily Wire online documentary film, get this, What is a Woman? Okay, just to give you an idea, this guy is total bigot, total. And
it's a catchy title, though. You know,
it is. What is a woman, right? You know, and has authored 4 books, one of which is Johnny the Walrus, a hate-filled, bigoted parody of a child's book. Why not, right? Give it to a child. That's where it'll end up. What is that story about?
Johnny the Walrus. Yeah.
In the book, Johnny is a boy with an imagination who dresses up as a walrus by using spoons as tusks. When internet people find out that Johnny enjoys being a walrus, he is forced to decide between being a boy or a walrus. And he is not allowed to change his mind. Yes.
Wow.
Transgender, a little.
What's the underlying message there? I don't quite get it.
Yeah, we don't understand, you know. So anyway, Matt Walsh. This is a little bit of Matt Walsh talking about gay parenting. Okay, the gay couples who adopt children. And there's a college student from Madison who posed this question to him. And I thought, kind of a local bent to this as well. Check it out.
Now, if you are not the perceptive sort, you might listen to all this and say, well, this is unfair to gay couples. What if they want to have children? What are they supposed to do? Don't we need to have some kind of system in place to help them achieve their parenthood dreams? The answer to that question is no, we don't. Homosexual unions are sterile by their nature. It's not an exception to the rule when they are. It's not the result of sickness or genetic defect when a homosexual couple's unable to have children. None of them are able or have ever been able or ever will be able. That is a sign from nature, about as glaring and obvious as signs as you can ever see, that gay couples are not meant to have kids.
This is pseudo-intellectualism. The MAGAs love it. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about. This guy has no college education whatsoever. He just has a brain and free speech. He continues.
They're not meant to have kids because they cannot ever have kids, because kids are meant to have both a mom and a dad. Now, it's true that plenty of kids end up with just one of those or sometimes none, but this just means that something went wrong. In that case, you do the best you can to compensate. But with surrogacy, we are designing children from the outset to be motherless or fatherless. We are intentionally depriving them of what they are supposed to have. You know, it's true that some children grow up with one arm or no arms, but that obviously doesn't make it any more horrific or any less horrific or barbaric to intentionally chop a child's arm off. You know, the fact that some children end up that way, yes, but a child is supposed to have 2 arms at birth. And to intentionally design a child to only have 1, we would all agree it's like mad scientist horror
that you've created.
But this is essentially what we're doing with commercial surrogacy.
Okay.
And that's why I will never applaud and cheer when we get these birth announcements from gay couples, because I'm more concerned about what the child needs than what those men want.
You really think so? You really think that's what he's concerned about? I don't think so. I think he has a hate agenda, you know, just a little. Just a little. A problem with gay individuals and you know.
Yes.
Yeah, and these are
So
the
I
people,
guess
these
gay
are the-
couples are not, in his mind, good adopters of
No.
children. They don't want to adopt them. There's a lot of kids that need parenting.
And forced pregnancies, where they're
Mhm.
forced to have a child. And of course, they said, well, we support that, and we'll put them up for adoption if that's what the mother wants to do.
Right.
Let's take out the gay couples now.
Yeah.
And let's do this and let's do that. All these little exceptions that they like to control people's lives with. And by the way, Governor Evers
Yes.
was also active in
Mhm.
speaking out against this kind of stuff. He vetoed bills blocking doctors from providing gender transition treatment to youth, access to basic life-saving care backed by research and medical experts. This is a quote from Governor Evers, and it is right on the money.
Mm-hmm.
Further, and especially important to me personally, I am vetoing this bill in its entirety because I object to the legislature's ongoing efforts to manufacture and perpetuate false, hateful, and discriminatory anti-LGBTQ policies and rhetoric in our state. This type of legislation and the rhetoric beget by pursuing it harms LGBTQ people and kids' mental health, emboldens anti-LGBTQ hate and violence, and threatens the safety and dignity of LGBTQ Wisconsinites. I support LGBTQ Wisconsinites, and I will continue to do everything in my power to defend them, protect their rights, and keep them safe. I mean, it's just a great statement. And if
It
you
really
want,
is.
and just keep in mind these bigots using children as political fodder to rip families and neighbors apart. Representative Scott Allen of Waukesha, Assembly Speaker Robin Voss, and Senator Dewey Strobel from Cedarburg. In fact, Dewey Strobel went even further. He can't resist putting kids on the front lines for his own political purpose. Strobel said Evers' veto proves Evers is more concerned with kowtowing to the extremes of the progressive movement than he is with, ready for it, protecting the innocence of Wisconsin's children. Oh, isn't that just heartwarming? This guy, again, Strobel is right there behind our kids on the front line. He said this: protecting children from invasive and irreversible medical interventions is the right thing to do. And here's the big lie: both a scientific and ethical standpoint he's taking. So Strobel is just, again, these individuals, these gerrymandered Republicans at our state capitol are using this children to fight their wars.
Mm-hmm. We've got news coming up, and we will be back with more. It's 8:29.
We'll be right back to the action right after this message.
It's the John and Gordy Show.
Did I say it was 8:29? It's 7:29.
You say 6:29?
I think I said 8:29.
Oh, I didn't notice.
My atomic clock skipped an hour last night somehow.
It did.
I'm looking at it. Wait a minute, 8:29. Wait, that's not right.
It must be set to daylight saving time, right?
No. I mean, it's been right on for as long as I've had it, 4 or 5 days or whatever it's been.
Oh, okay.
And now just suddenly overnight it's skipped. It's skipped an hour. It's got. Let's see. How do I do this? I can reset it somehow. Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I got a story for next or tomorrow rather, from Disney. It took them a while. This new Disney board that DeSantis put in place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's taken them a while, but they're coming up with ways to slant and insinuate that the Disney company for years, decades, have been gaming the system and taking advantage of people. It's just, it is so pathetically politicized and spun to the point where your head spins. It really is truly amazing. We'll get to that next tomorrow rather.
Hey, did you guys get a copy of the Cap Times, Sam? Did you get a copy yesterday?
I got one yesterday. I haven't looked at it yet.
Did you see Sam's comment while you were talking, John? The mix between your mic and your computer is off.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
No.
Your clips are still hotter than your mic, or you just weren't talking directly into your mic. I'm not sure.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. How's that mic sound now?
Good.
Okay, I might have the clips too high. All right, I'll watch that. I didn't notice that. We could get to these a few other stories. There's one here. Let's see here. It is. He signed into law the reform for Wisconsin alcohol industry. Evers signed that.
Oh, this is the wedding barn thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
That includes the wedding barn thing.
So what? They do or don't need liquor licenses?
They do. They do. They passed.
Yes,
I mean, he couldn't reject this. He couldn't veto it because it's really a sweeping bill that needed reform for the alcohol industry.
Right.
But that's in there.
But
the barns have 2 years to get in line. So it gives it time to maybe make a reform in this regard, So they might come up with legislation to help with that. I have a story. I don't know if you guys want to get into this today, but I have something. The 20.
got nothing.
The 20 cult films from the 80s that everyone should watch at least once. Yeah. Okay, you want to get into that?
Oh,
right.
Yes. Let's have a little entertainment.
I might have something to say about that. 80 movies are what I grew up on.
There you go.
All right, we'll do that. I hope I can hit that link.
What's up first?
I'll just mention the Wisconsin alcohol industry.
Oh yeah.
I'll just mention that, and then we'll go into the
cult movies.
The cult movies, yeah.
Got 1 minute.
Okay. Yeah, we got to work ahead toward tomorrow, John. If we're going to meet with Catherine this evening.
Oh, I know.
Let's try to work this afternoon. I gotta do a drive.
I'll be looking through Cap Times the rest of this morning, and
all right. And we might just rip and read your stuff. You've highlighted some things. So
yeah, I'm going to get a copy too because I have to do a drive early this afternoon down to Madison and back, just to UW and back to drop somebody off.
20 seconds
at the hospital. So I'll stop at I know the Walgreens on next to the club. What's the club? Moose's Club.
Club Tavern.
Yes, Club Tavern. That Walgreens has Cap Times and Isthmus.
All right.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Smiling Eddie's Auto Repair Shop. If your car is having engine trouble, bring it on down to Smiling Eddie's, where this week only you'll save 20% on a free estimate.
That's a good savings.
I've had those. Oh my goodness, Mad Radio 92.7 FM, and it's also on your app. So check it out and contact us. Any comments, throw them in. Just wanted to update everybody on this. Governor Evers signs the sweeping overhaul of the Wisconsin alcohol industry. So, and it'll benefit, a lot of the microbrewers out there now because they definitely needed some help. And we'll be seeing, pop-up bars and restaurants and places to go now from the microbreweries.
Okay.
Also, but included in that bill is the barn, the wedding barn issue. And that is going to still be alive and well. He signed this, and the wedding barns now are required to have licenses, which could put a lot of these wedding barns out of business. And that will kick in 2 years, according to this bill. So there's 2 years for the legislature and the governor to agree on something, a better solution to the wedding barn situation. Because you got to think about it. Wedding barns are not necessarily going to compete with too many other businesses, right? There's just so many barns that you can fix up for weddings, and it's not going to be like competing with a corner bar with another corner bar.
So they'll have 2 more years before they have to worry about getting a license? Is that what you're saying for the wedding bar? Well, that gives them plenty of time to... Yeah, they've got weddings probably on the books, at least for the next 6 months to a year in advance, so that gives them a little time to adjust, perhaps.
And then, of course, come up with better legislation. Because, it's all you're doing is fixing up a barn, you're renting it out, and the people that are holding the wedding bring the alcohol. That's it. That's as easy as it gets. It's like a party in the parking lot at County Stadium, or it's something a Green Bay Packer game. It's very similar to just bring your own, but for some reason the state wants its greedy little hands in on this thing, and it just doesn't make any sense. Again, there aren't that many barns that are being fixed up for weddings. Unless I'm wrong, unless they take advantage of the law, they give them a break, and all of a sudden all the farmers start making a lot of money by fixing up their barns and renting them out for weddings.
Yeah.
Is that a horrible thing, by the way?
No.
Giving the farmers an option of making more money? I don't know. Maybe Republicans have something there that they don't like, even though, the farmers, of course, vote conservative in general terms. I've got this thing, and I just want to run I hope we can get a reaction from our listeners on this.
Oh, what do we got?
It's a story, 20 cult films from the 80s that everyone should watch at least once. All right?
Oh, this is according...
Master of the cinematic arts, Mr.
John Peterson.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go to the movies.
Right.
All right. Let's go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, is this a list that you personally came up with, John? Or
no, it is not something I came up with. No, it is not.
Okay. Right.
It's from lovedbycurls.com, and this is their list. Okay.
Okay.
You really,
sure.
Specifically, this now.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay. They start with, I don't think this is in any specific order.
Okay.
The Breakfast Club, which I don't remember, from 1985. Do you remember that at all?
Well, sure.
I mean, that had all the big stars in it. All the
kids
stars,
that were they had to. You don't remember that movie?
Molly Ringwald, and others, right?
Yeah. The names don't come to mind immediately, but I can see their faces. But that was a great movie. They're sitting in detention hall, every day, trying to make it okay.
By the way,
trying to make it
every
fun.
one of those characters, they never really went on to major success. So no big loss. Here's the one that is definitely a must see.
Another
Blade
cult
Runner.
movie.
Blade Runner from 1982.
All right. I'll go along with that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good cult movie. Yeah.
Yeah. But you have to, they have a director's cut for Blade Runner.
Okay.
But do not see that one.
Why not?
See the theatrical version of Blade Runner. There's a narration by Harrison Ford in that, and it's kind of a noirish thing, and it's just really, it's much better, having him kind of filling us in as the movie goes along. It's just a better feel, and it has a better message, and it's not contorted in a way that makes it seem like the lead character is also a robot, an android. Okay, all right.
I like the term noirish. I've never heard that.
Okay, well, I just made that up.
I know. I can tell. All right. Next.
Okay, Princess Bride. What?
Oh, that's a good one. But jumping back to the Breakfast Club real quick, I think Catherine is a fan. She commented the Brat Pack in all caps.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's the
that's
case.
True.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. That was big. Princess Bride, 1987. I can't really say too much about it. It was just I thought it was okay, not real funny, but
Oh, I think it's pretty funny, but
Do you?
okay.
It's a
Yeah.
cult classic at this point.
Yeah.
Like
Really?
I didn't like it at first the first time I watched it, but like it gets better every time that you see it, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen movies like that lately. You know, if I see it again, then I kind of understand where it's going, and then I can pay more attention to the subject matter and how the characters interact and how the story kind of winds out a little bit better, seeing it the second time around.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that too many times. You know, it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to move on to something else. but it's a great.
It's youth and freedom, and that's what it's all about. And Matthew
That's
Broderick's charismatic performance.
That's right.
How about Ghostbusters 1984? Got to see
Okay.
that. Everybody's got to see that. Everybody, you know, that movie created so many different memes. You know,
That's right.
there was the latest one. I've never seen that. You know, it's always on some pay service. I've never been able to check it out.
The all-female version? Is that what you're talking
I think
about?
it's
That
yeah.
one?
I
Or
don't
the
know. I
one
think
after
it's
that?
like the Offsprings.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah, I
kids.
didn't see that.
Yeah.
No, I only saw the first one and maybe the second one because my kids were little at the time. But the first one's a classic, Ghostbusters. Yeah.
Do you remember professional wrestling's Roddy Piper?
Yes, of
You
course.
remember him?
Sure. Walking
And
around with
this
a
is-
kilt.
This
Yeah.
is this is one of those must-see movies. He starred in this movie by John Carpenter, They Live. That's the title of the movie. They Live, from 1988. And it is, I can't even believe that this has received the cult status as it has, although it is really, really good. It's fun to watch. Roddy
I've never
Piper,
heard of it.
right? He's not a professional actor. He's a wrestler. You know?
Right. Okay.
So
They live.
the story of a drifter, Roddy Piper, discovering the world is controlled by alien forces. And he uses glasses. He's got specific glasses that see whether it's an alien or not. You have to wear the glasses in order to see the aliens.
He's the only one with this
Well,
specific
he's the only
pair
one
of
with
glasses?
these glasses. Yeah, and they're trying to stop him because he's got these glasses and he can turn them all in. And
Dumbest thing I ever heard of. Okay.
it, according to this, thought-provoking and entertaining. Okay.
Okay.
And then, of course, a redo, and this is The Thing from 1982, not the original, which was just a classic, an incredible movie. But this has Kurt Russell in it, and it's fun too. John Carpenter did this one. Beetlejuice, which is now a play, right? You know,
Michael Keaton. Yeah, there was a play
it's a stage play, and you know, I guess. Do they do these in high school stage plays? I wonder.
I don't know.
So
Ask
anyway.
Lauren Boebert or whatever. She went to that
Lauren
play,
Boebert.
right?
That's right.
Yeah, Boebert. She got in a little trouble for one of those things.
Yeah,
Little
Well,
handsy.
as an audience member. So.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so you can blame it on the play, right?
Can you imagine getting into trouble as an audience member? Okay. All right. A Nightmare on Elm Street, one of the great classics of all time. It really is. You know, the people in the movie, none of them can fall asleep, or else they'd get transferred into this world where Freddy Krueger is, and Freddy Krueger, of course, then kills you.
Yes.
So you can't fall asleep.
Right.
The Goonies from 1985.
The Goonies. Huh.
Again, a movie with kids in it, and I avoided them. All right.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
That was my favorite movie for a solid 7 years.
No kidding. Okay, well, you
Wow.
got somebody who likes the movie. Okay, talk it up.
Yeah.
What did you like?
I don't know. I was just I always wanted to go out and do an adventure of my own like that, but I didn't live on the West Coast where I could just crawl around in caves and find a pirate ship. But I always wanted
That's
to.
true.
I thought it would be
That's
so
true.
cool.
That's true.
Okay.
Well, I never saw the movie, so thank you for that. Gen Z are liking that movie.
Okay.
Labyrinth. Skip past that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
David Bowie's
Yeah.
in that. It's not a big. It's a horrible movie.
I didn't think too much of that movie at all, but I guess it is a cult classic, though.
But let's get to the big one. This is
Okay.
Spinal Tap, 1984.
Oh, they got a new one coming out.
Oh, they do?
Oh yeah, they put the band back together again. It's already. Oh yeah, it's in the works. Yes,
Wow.
Everybody's in it, and guest stars are in it. Paul McCartney is in it. Other big rock stars are in it. The new Spinal Tap movie. Yeah, I don't know when it's due out, but I know they've been working.
What was the famous stage performance they did in the movie with the Stonehenge?
Was it? Yes. Was it Big Bottom or was it? I don't know.
But they did a Stonehenge takeoff.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a classic. Yeah. Spinal Tap. Absolutely.
Evil Dead. Evil Dead 2.
Evil
Dead in 1987. This is Evil Dead 2, and it stars, of course, Bruce Campbell, the ever-loving Bruce Campbell. Oh, really?
No, I don't know him.
Okay.
Do you know? You know who you're talking about?
Yeah.
You're just making this up.
Well,
Bruce Campbell.
He was in a show called Briscoe County. He played a gunslinger. And he was in a few of the Spider-Man movies. Again, you did not see those.
I saw the first one and the second one.
Well, he was in. I think he was in that one with Sam Raimi directed that, and he loves Bruce Campbell, so he's in every movie Sam Raimi does.
All right.
I mean, I'm getting too far into the weeds here now.
Well, yeah, we only have a minute or two here, but so what's the
Scarface,
rest of the list?
1983.
Oh, that's a good one.
And the great Disney movie Tron from 1982. Truly a breaking movie, a lot of digital stuff in it. Yeah, it's great. That's when all the machines were put up in lobbies and in special places like Bally's Tomfoolery. They had that in Madison for a while.
Right.
Yeah. So Heathers, 1989.
Heathers.
Blue Velvet. That's the only time I liked a Bobby Vinton song is in the movie Blue Velvet. I hate Bobby Vinton more than anything, but it fits the surreal nature of Blue Velvet.
Why the hate on Bobby Vinton?
Growing up in the 60s, 50s, 60s, hearing his music and his cover songs, and he was just awful and terrible, and it was just, it broke up all the good stuff from Hendrix and The Who, so Bobby Vinton, please spare me. Akira. Now that's an anime movie, Akira. Right. You just keep hearing that over and over in your head after you see the movie from 1988.
And what else?
One great movie, Kurt Russell movie. This is really fun to watch. Big Trouble in Little China from 1986. He plays a trucker caught in Little China town, and he is suddenly fighting off ninjas. It's a great cult classic. And Say Anything, you remember that movie?
Yeah.
Cameron Crowe's John Cusack in that.
Yeah.
And that's it. I got them all in.
You got the list of cult movies, 20 cult movies.
Yeah.
Check them out. 7:49, we're coming right back. Yeah, Breakfast Club, Emilio Estevez, Paul Gleason.
Yeah.
Who? Anthony Michael Hall. Remember that little kid? Judd Nelson. He kind of had, I guess
Faded.
He went on to other stuff. But Molly Ringwald, again, not too much happening after that movie. And Ali Sheedy, she kind of had a couple other things. But yeah, everybody
Molly
in that
Ringwald was in 13 Candles, right? That was your big movie?
And
what are you doing next?
Yeah, what are we doing next? We got one.
They've got lists here, by the way. The 38 most awesome bad guys in movie history, or 18 overlooked.
Seconds to figure.
Overlooked.
Yeah, we'll
movies.
save those for next time. I don't know. We're kind of scraping the barrel here.
No, we aren't. No, we're not. We're not scraping the barrel.
All right. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about a special National Day tomorrow that we need to get ready for.
Oh, okay. Let's do that. I know. I love it.
10 minutes before the top of the hour, Mad Radio 92.7 WMDX with John and Gordy.
You know, every once in a while, I like to get into food information. You know,
Food. Food's
something
important.
you can sink your teeth into.
Okay.
Okay. You know, we've heard so long, the meat is bad for you, causes cancer, all that kind of stuff. The University
red meat
of Chicago,
especially.
they've shown that a nutrient found in red meat and lamb, along with dairy products, by the way, can't leave out the dairy state, milk and butter, may support our body's ability to infiltrate and fight off cancer cells.
Well, who's come up with this alternate report?
The University of Chicago.
Okay.
It's not some fly-by-night left-wing group, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Gordy?
I got you. I'm
right.
with you on that. Yeah, so red meat's suddenly good for us now.
Suddenly, the nutrient in question is called transvasenic acid.
Oh, that stuff.
Yeah. Well, let me
I
just.
like that.
I'll just make it TVA. Okay, we'll just call it TVA because no one cares about the term itself. Right. TVA is a long chain fatty acid that our bodies cannot make by themselves. So they've tested it. Mice with a diet enriched with TVA saw significantly reduced tumor growth potential for both melanomas and colon cancer cells. Their T cells also appeared to be more effective at infiltrating those tumors. There might be the nutrients in these things as well in plants, but they haven't tested that yet. They haven't researched enough to find out if plants have it for vegetarians, basically.
Okay.
So they don't have to start eating red meat, contributing to the global climate change thing.
So you're saying go out and get a Whopper today. Have a big, juicy hamburger and some meatloaf.
Double burger.
Meatloaf. Just pile it on.
Pile it on because it'll fight cancer.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay. But, in moderation, of course, right?
Everything in moderation.
Although I had a Culver's double cheeseburger last night.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good.
They're so good.
Yeah, I have to stay away from it.
The one that I'm steering clear of only because I just can't imagine my body dealing with it is a double cheeseburger with a curd slab on top of it, the curd burger.
I don't like that
idea
at all.
Making me so hungry right now. My mouth is watering.
Yeah.
See, Gen Zers love Culver's, So.
Oh, I know it. Oh, yes, I know it. My son, my daughter, both just they and they're everywhere around here. So you can find a Culver's just about everywhere you find a Quick Trip now. So there you go. It's just their food is really good. It's really
just
tasty.
Say, I'll give a shout out to the Culver's in Middleton on Parmenter Street.
Yeah,
they have the greatest staff. I mean, they are the nicest people, the most polite, sincere sounding people that I've run into.
Well, I like the Culver's in Sauk City, the original one, the one that Mr. Culver, his family put it there, and that started the whole thing, the whole chain, right in Sauk City.
Just to let you know, Culver's. Just to let you know, a old girlfriend mentioned that she went to school with the Culvers, and that they are extremely conservative. Just to let you know, we're a political show. Just
I think you should keep politics out of fast food. Myself, I don't see the connection.
All right.
Well, they still make good food, and so why not
they
eat
do.
it?
They do, and I know I'm going to get lambasted for this, but Quick Trip, very conservative. They donate a lot of money to Republican politicians, but they have fantastic stores. I'm sorry, I like them, and I'm glad they're here. Menards is very conservative. Home Depot is very conservative. You're kind of locked in, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
To going to them, so you can't boycott them.
You got to take you got a tip of the hat. I mean, they run really good operations. They're very coordinated. They're very, it's very well put together. All of their stores, they seem to be on top of it. So good for them.
They do a good job.
And their employees genuinely seem to like working there and get good benefits. So good for them.
And also a more liberal is Woodman's. So just to mention them, All right.
We're talking
employee owned. That's
employee. Well, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So shout out to them.
Now we're all really hungry after food talk. And I'm almost hankering for a big breakfast of some kind or brunch, but we got to hold off because we're going to get together. John and I are going to have a little get together this evening.
Yeah.
Just to have dinner. We don't see each other that much anymore since we're working in separate studios. So we got to remember, to get together every once in a while.
That's right. I don't remember your hair being so gray.
I know it's changed. I never went for I know, unlike you that uses Grecian formula every couple of weeks, I just let it go. I mean, you can tell everybody. It's no secret.
I do not. Grecian formula. Is
they
that
still make
around?
that stuff? I don't know. I think it was banned because of all the horrible chemicals it probably has in it.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh,
you can dye your hair. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Well, I just thought of too. Another story, a health story, basically health related, is that all the plastics are breaking down into smaller plastics.
Yeah, that's comforting news, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Plastic's going to kill us all.
And our bodies are absorbing it through the air and through food and everything else through packaging. And it's also causing cancer and nerve damage. So, just a little story to, leave you on.
Yeah, thanks for the uplifting news on all that. We like to end on an up note.
Tasty microplastics, just
yes.
like Mama used to make.
Yeah. Well, in the old days, we had to look out for aluminum foil, right? Everything had aluminum foil.
And that was a bad
bits
thing.
and pieces, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to ingest that too much.
No.
Everything in moderation, though.
Well, there you go.
All these bad chemicals.
Yeah, you can eat a little bit of it, but don't worry about it. Moderation is good.
All right. Well,
oh, God.
Now, tomorrow on the big show, because it's Friday tomorrow, we've got a special national day that I think we all need to prepare for. It's National Brownie Day tomorrow. So I think we should bring in, those special brownies that I know, John, you like to cook up.
Well, we have to go to Illinois border and get some ingredients.
Yeah.
Past the cheddar curtain. We'll go down there.
National Brownie Day tomorrow, so get ready for that. All right. That's going to wrap it up for this Thursday. We hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Right, John?
All right.
As we were saying, let the sun shine. It's the John and Gordy